Unleash the hopeless romantic within. Welcome to the Lover List, where we bring you the most swoon-worthy love, dating, and relationship stories straight from Reddit. Like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay in the loop. I, 35 male, was incarcerated and lost touch with 33 female. I contacted her, and she responded. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who offered advice or kind words. I had spent so long feeling ashamed about my situation and expecting most people to react very negatively if they knew. I had barely discussed it with anyone before, except my dad and people whose job it is to help me, lawyers, therapists, etc., and I was very surprised to be met with so much compassion from a bunch of complete strangers. Thank you, truly. Several people asked for an update, and that's the least I can do in return. I sent Daria a message the evening after I made my post. It was something like, I don't mean to intrude, but I wanted to say hello and thought I would give you my new contact information in case you ever felt like getting in touch. If not, that's completely fine too. I left her my mobile number and email address, wished her well, and that was that. I knew it might be a while before she responded, if she responded at all. So I tried to put it out of my mind. Early Monday morning, my phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number from the country where Daria lives. Who else would ever be calling me from there? I panicked a little bit, but I managed to answer in time. She asked a few times if it was really me, and I couldn't tell if she was laughing or crying. At first she called me by the very affectionate version of my name she used to. But then she quickly apologized and corrected herself, which broke my heart a little bit. It was an awkward phone call, but not in a bad way. I was extremely nervous, and it seemed like she was too, but happy, also. Some of you mentioned that Daria would want to know that I was safe, and this was more true than I could have guessed. Because unrest in my country increased a lot during the last year I was in prison, she was afraid that they would decide to quietly kill me rather than let me go. There are documented cases of other prisoners like me having met very suspicious ends in the months before my release, so it wasn't a totally unreasonable worry. She also said she repeatedly tried to send me parcels of supplies and put money on my commissary account, but her attempts were rejected without explanation. After my sentencing, I was not allowed to receive correspondence or to have a commissary account at all, because of the classification of my crimes, so she was forced to give up. She told me this as an apology, as if I would have been disappointed with her for not helping me more. I had no idea she had done any of that. I do know that it was not a safe thing for her to do, and I feel terrible that she put herself at risk trying to make me a little more comfortable. She didn't seem to want to talk about what happened any more than that, and so we didn't. We changed the subject to more lighthearted things, our jobs, the cities where we live, how my dad is adapting to a new country, etc. When she arrived at work and had to end the phone call, she asked if I wanted to continue talking through a messaging app. Obviously, I said yes, and downloaded it immediately. We sent messages throughout the day, and she even interrupted her commute home to send me a picture of a restaurant modeled after one of my favorite books, just because she thought I would like it. She told me that she thought of me every time she saw it, but unfortunately the restaurant itself was not so good. I was afraid she wouldn't remember me. But she even remembers the things I liked to read. She remembers a lot of little things, even stuff I forgot. We have been sending messages back and forth ever since, and talking on the phone after I finish work at night, until she gets too sleepy. Sometimes it feels like I'm 24 and she's texting me from a few blocks away, as if the next thing she might ask is what's for dinner. Other times it seems like we're trying to will dead versions of ourselves back to life in order to avoid acknowledging what we've lost. She seems a lot more timid than she used to, more passive, which I suppose makes sense. Sometimes I worry about how much I've changed, and that maybe she won't find anything left in me that's worthy of her. But if I could express in words what it feels like to hear her laugh, I could explain that there's also a lot that we know very well. She hasn't lost her kindness, or her warmth, or her empathy. She still cares about me, and I still care about her. I know that rebuilding a friendship after all that's happened will take lots of patience, and I have plenty to spare. I'm just happy to have the chance to get to know her again. This morning, Daria asked if I want to have a video call sometime this weekend. I agreed, but I'm ashamed to admit that as much as I want to see her, I'm very nervous. I look so different than she would remember. My jaw is messed up, and I have the teeth of a hockey player. Fortunately, I will qualify for healthcare insurance soon and be able to have it fixed. I lost weight that I haven't put back on, and I see an old man in the mirror. I'm also worried that I will get very emotional when I see her and embarrass myself that way. I don't really cry in front of people. I'm not used to it, and this doesn't seem like a good occasion to start. Aside from not wanting to appear pitiful, I don't want her to feel forced to comfort me. If anyone has some advice on how to handle this, it would be much appreciated. Overall, this week could not have gone better, and I am extremely grateful to everyone who gave me the little push of courage I needed to send her that message. 1,000 times, thank you. TLDR, I sent a message to my former partner. She was thrilled to receive it, and we have been happily getting to know each other once again. Edit, just to clarify, she doesn't have a husband or kids. As I said in my first post, I only considered contacting her because there was no evidence of a partner on her social media. But I understand that my first post wasn't visible for a while, so I can see why that may not have been obvious. Sorry for the confusion. I'm so happy to read your update. OP, you deserve everything good, and I'm sure Daria feels the same about you that you do her. I bet she's beyond happy to be able to hear you laughing with her again as well. As for advice regarding the video call, maybe you could go out and get a haircut before you talk to her, and wear a nice shirt on the day. I don't think Daria is going to judge you one way or the other, but it could act as a nice boost to your self-confidence before you see her face-to-face for the first time in so long. All the very best, OP. I wish you nothing but happiness. I'm hoping for read another heartwarming update like this one next week. I am so happy to hear that things went so well and you are back in such wonderful contact. I personally wouldn't worry too much about your appearance. You could get a haircut and shave before making the call, but really, I think she will just be happy to actually have the visual confirmation that you're alive. And please don't be ashamed of looking the way you do. You went through hell, and hell leaves scars, emotionally and physically. The way you look is what a survivor looks, and that is what matters. You survived. She clearly had thought a lot about you and worried about you, so seeing you alive is what this is about. Your jaw or teeth might not be perfect anymore, but they are the jaw and teeth of a living person. And that fact alone matters a lot more than if they are straight. Thank you! Your advice on my last post was very helpful and very appreciated. And I think you are correct here, too. I tried to warn her that I don't look the same as I do, and she was very clear that she doesn't care at all. But of course I am still going to feel a little weird about it. I could use a haircut, though, and maybe that would help a bit. Such a heartwarming update. Regarding your video call with her and being nervous about it, maybe let her know in advance how you feel about it. Both of you have changed physically. It's almost been a decade since you saw each other, so of course you will not look the same. Maybe ask for picture exchange before your video call, if that will make you comfortable. That way she will see you and you will see her, so it might be less nerve-wracking. But I think communicating with her how you feel might be the best. Good luck, and I wish you the best. I remember your post. I remember replying to it. I am glad you followed the advice lots of us gave you. I am actually going to just sit here and cry my tears of joy that you may get a good ending after all from what we advised you. Just remember, one step at a time. Edit, don't be afraid to cry. Even if together forever is not meant to be, this reunion is big enough for the tears to flow. Hell, I am tearing up reading you post. Thank you. I appreciate your advice and good wishes. I remember your story, and I am so happy that you ended up messaging her. It sounds like she hasn't been able to forget you either, and that says something. My piece of advice is, on the video call, be yourself. Don't worry about your looks. We all get older with time. She won't look the same way she did back when you two were together either, and don't worry about being too emotional. It is an emotional situation, so be however you feel in the moment. She may cry too, and that's perfectly okay. I hope you end up even happier after your talk. Keep us posted. I am rooting for you. I am truly thrilled to see an update, one with good news as well. Just take your time, no rushing, and enjoy one another's company. It's so sweet to know she was trying to get in touch with you, but clearly this is all part of the process you were put through to cut you off from everyone outside. Really pleased you've been able to reconnect and continue to talk. Best of wishes and luck to you both for the future. I haven't even read the first post, but I will add this is such a great outcome. Advice: she won't give a crap what you look like. She is also nervous that she's changed as well. And for her to ask for a video call, she's not as nervous as you. Go for it, and if you cry, cry. Life is so short, literally a blink. I am so happy for you, dude. I saw your original post and didn't think it would turn out as positive as this. I'm glad I was wrong. Don't worry about crying in front of her. There's a history between you two and unresolved emotions. I'd be surprised if neither of you cried. I wish you the best for the future. Congrats! You did your time and now you have a future to look forward to. Maybe with Daria or not, but even if not, it's nice to know she cared about you, didn't forget about you, and wants to at least be friends. That's always nice to have in life, lol. Rock on! She sounds so lovely, and I think she is going to understand about the toll your imprisonment took on you. I'm so glad you reached out and reconnected. I am wishing you a long life of health and happiness. This is truly lovely. Are you happy to have a friendship with her though? I don't want you to be in any more emotional pain if you, for example, fall back in love with her or further in love with her. Just explain to her you are not ready for a video call. You can tell her why. She will understand, though I'm sure she will try to reassure you. I hope you are okay. You are doing so well. Yay, I'm so happy for you. It's exactly what I was hoping for. Of course, she asked if it was really you. I told you about my partner, who had to leave his home country much like you. Well, when he finally got a new passport and went home after 24 years, he didn't dare tell anyone in his family in case he was arrested on arrival. He didn't want them to be upset all over again. All went well at the airport, so then he arrived at his parents' house and rang the doorbell. His mother opened the door, and when she saw him, she fell to the floor in a dead faint. I think she must have thought he died, and this was his ghost coming home at last, because they had given up hope that he or his brothers could ever go home again. Don't worry about your looks. She will have aged too, remember, and she knows life has been hard on you and that it will show too. So long as she can still see something of the guy she loved before, it'll be fine. Your eyes, your voice, they don't change. Yeah, okay, you might cry. You probably have millions of tears pent up inside you. But you know what, there's a pretty good chance she will start crying first, because it sounds like you being in prison was a really tough time for her too. I mean, damn it, I'm crying just thinking about it. So keep a box of tissues at the ready and go for it. Thank you. I'm glad your partner was able to go home again. I really appreciate you sharing his story and your perspective. It has been a big help. What an amazing update. Please try to not feel shame. You have been through so much, all for trying to do the right thing. You don't deserve to feel shame for that. She has been through a lot, Oswell, and you'll both likely cry, and there is zero shame in that. In fact, it's healthy to let the tears flow. It helps with the healing. It makes the weight on your shoulders a little less. There has been so much loss, but now there is some happiness. You both get to reminisce about the good times you had together and with her brother/your friend, someone that understands at least some of each other's hardships. I wish you both a happy and bright future, be it as friends or lovers. Wasn't clear to me from your previous post if you were in fact living in Germany now. I'm from the Netherlands, and I would be proud to welcome you as a new citizen to my country. A big thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Relationship Stories that'll leave you inspired. If these tales touched your heart, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode filled with stories that'll leave you in awe.